Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wild Chats. I am Ryan. That is Maria. This is our initial episode, so this will be interesting to see how it goes. I'm looking forward to looking back on this in probably 2, 3 years and see how much the show has evolved. Maria and I have been friends for about 5 years now. We've worked on some other fun projects together. We both love animals. We've done some YouTube channels, and we just decided since we always end up in these funny, weird conversations about animals and sharing funny animal clips and stuff on our Facebook pages that we decided to try to make a podcast out of it and have some fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. In a couple weeks, we're going to start doing some live streams. That way, you guys can jump in. I think it'll be a lot more fun once the community builds up a little bit and we're able to kind of have some fun conversations and stuff. Maria and I always get in these random conversations about like which animals would be the best athletes in a particular sport or at the best jobs or just sharing fun and funny clips. So basically, we're just going to take what we normally do amongst ourselves and we're just going to include a bunch of other people we don't know. And we'll see what happens. We used to do a hack
It's a fun
channel.
community.
Yeah. We used to do some hack channels, so we've got some fun ideas for like some pet toys, and this channel is just going to be a little bit of everything. Sometimes we might end up talking about Marvel movies for 15 minutes. Sometimes we're going to be talking about, most of the time we'll be talking about animals, but it's going to be a grab bag. Hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun and you guys enjoy it. And like I said, as the community starts to build, we've got some other resources and places that we can all get together and kind of chat and talk about things that aren't necessarily just during the live stream. So it's going to be fun to build this, guys. Really looking forward to it. Maria?
Hi, I'm Maria, as you can see, and it's going to be quite an adventure, and that's why we chose the name Wild Chats because we really don't know how these wild things go, and we'll just see what happens, really. So, looking forward to having you join us and build an awesome community that cares about something. Usually, animals. That's really the whole point. So, hopefully, you'll love it.
So, guys, what we're going to probably do, general idea of structure so far, is we're going to show a few videos that we found on the internet that we find fun or that we think are strange or interesting. And they're just going to spark some conversations. And as most things go with Maria and I have no idea where those conversations are going to go. It seems like they start at point A and who knows where they end up. But that's the fun part. So, I saw this video on Facebook, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen it, but I still have no idea if this thing is real or not or possible. So here we go. Let's see. Give me a second. We're still working out all the technicals. So it will take me just a minute. It gave me like a warning, and now I've got like, okay, here we go. Now we're in business. There we go. Okay, check this out. Tell me if you think this is real or not. First off, this is
Okay, let's see.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, these guys, it doesn't feel like it's in fast forward, but turtles or tortoises are supposed to move that fast.
They look like they're actually floating in a constellation. And look at that door. Do you see the door?
I have to.
That door looks like, look at it. It looks like the door from a Marvel movie, Doctor Strange.
But it like matches the floor. I have no I'm still just amazed by the speed at which they're going at. But
they look like they're floating. Like they look like they're literally floating.
I had like baby pet turtles and tortoises at like some point when I was a kid, and I don't ever remember them moving more than like a foot every like 30 seconds.
When they're hungry, they can be fast. I mean, I don't know if these fast. I mean, these look like they almost have rollerblades underneath. Like they're seriously just.
It feels like it's sped up. I'm going to go ahead and just believe it's sped up. But when I was trying to look into this a little bit, as always, guys, I'm a big fact person. I enjoy fun, random, curious, strange facts. So I was looking up some stuff, and I found some interesting. I don't know. To me, it was interesting. It's probably a guy thing, but basically, when Charles Darwin was on the Galapagos Islands and he first discovered those gigantic tortoises he had.
You mean the Galapagos turtles? Tortoises?
Yeah, they're
tortoises. Drinking game. How many times Mario screws up?
Apparently, this is again the guy part of it. He tried to ride them. Like he literally tried to saddle them and take them for a ride around the island.
I actually don't think it's necessarily a guy thing. I think I would have done the
Would
same
you?
thing. Although I would have worried about their structure of their legs if they could have really hold if they could really
Okay.
hold that much weight. Because usually elephants, although they look really strong, they're gentle, they do have a pointy back and they're a horse is a better choice to ride than an
Okay.
elephant.
So
If
you're
I'm
saying
being
there's like an age cutoff for those pony ride photos? You're like, okay, if you're like a 17-year-old child, you should not be on the back of the pony taking photos. It's probably too young.
Yeah, actually, that's a very interesting story. I was in St. Kitts, Virgin Islands, several, actually a couple of years ago, and I got really upset with one of the locals because he had a donkey, and on top of the donkey, we donkeys are extremely strong animals. They're smart. They're literally a good animal to have in a farm for many reasons besides moving stuff from one side to the other. Anyway, the donkey had these big fat men on top, and you can almost see the face of this animal. You can see it suffering. You can really see the donkey struggling. And I got really upset with the guy. I should have gotten upset actually with the tourist for being so abusive. I mean, the guy is trying to earn money. Let's face it, not everybody's wealthy and can afford it. And if he's using animals, including monkeys, he also had monkeys. They didn't look in good shape. Anyway, the point is, please don't ride something. If you're that heavy, yeah.
Okay. It's not a weight thing. I
So
think
no turtle riding. Let's go back to the turtles. No turtle riding.
so now you're changing your mind on the turtle riding, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. Now that I think about the structure of the animal, yeah, that's kind of cruel. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, so here's another fun one that I saw that tied in with that.
Oh
So
God.
we know how big. Okay, not the riding part. This was just.
I'm actually surprised you didn't notice the door that looked like a not Doctor Who, Doctor Strange. I don't know if I said Doctor Who or Doctor. Anyway, one of those doctors.
Who
And
is Doctor Strange?
it's
I'm
strange
joking.
that you don't know who is
Doctor
the
Who.
doctor.
It was hilarious on my end. Um, okay, so here's a fun. We know how like long those tortoises live, right? Like they're
Yeah.
hundreds of years old. So here's a
Yes.
fun fact. So basically, Charles Darwin and Abraham Lincoln were born in the same year. Okay. Charles Darwin owned one of these turtles. Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, owned the same turtle as Charles
Are you
Darwin.
serious?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I mean, it wasn't handed down directly. Clearly, it passed through a few people in between because I think Darwin died well before Irwin was born. But there's literally a tortoise, they're that old, that was owned by Charles Darwin, born the same year as Abraham Lincoln, and Steve
That's
Irwin.
pretty incredible.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
And there's so many parallel stories that we don't realize. I think like Pocahontas was around the same time as Shakespeare, and
Yeah,
there's so many things that are. What was it about Cleopatra? There was something about Cleopatra also that was around the same time as. Okay, why am I mentioning if I don't remember? But anyway, the point is there's so many shocking things that you don't realize that were happening
yeah,
parallel to one another.
yeah, because we learn them in their own little pockets, but then we don't think about, well, yeah, that was this year, and at this year, this other thing was happening at some other. Yeah, I kind of like that. There's an author, I think I can't remember the name. I think it's James Burke or something like that, but he has books called like Circles and stuff like. He did some other books, and it's literally about that, about the strange connections and things that are happening at like the same time as other things that you don't put together. He had like a
I love
show,
that.
yeah, in like the early 80s on the BBC. He had a show and he put out a bunch of books. The one's called like The Pinball Effect or something. But it's really interesting that he's got some about the universe and just all these connections that you don't. We learn all these things independently, but not
Those
as like.
connections that you don't connect,
Yes, exactly. You don't connect at the. You don't connect.
these connected connections, perhaps.
Exactly. So one more random thing that I thought was cool because I think some of the videos that always get me when I see them is the animals that are obviously like the rescues and stuff like that are always fun, but I don't know why I'm a sucker for like the dogs in the wheelchairs. Like I just
Oh,
how happy they can be considering their fate, and like a human being without the use of their legs is we just don't see the world the way the dogs do. I love their optimism. I love that energy they have. So when you see them running around and just going through the forest and just they don't know the difference. They're just living in the moment. I always just find that like so inspiring. And I came across
such
another
a good
fact.
lesson. It's such a good lesson in life.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
there was a turtle that lost part of its shell. So they 3D printed him a shell, like the replacement piece that was missing. And then an artist in, what was it, Brazil, came in and actually hand painted the 3D printing to match the other side of his shell. So you couldn't even
That
see
is
it.
awesome. A transformer.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
That is very neat. I actually had a friend who did prosthetics for people, and he wanted to, and this was 20 years ago, and now we've gone so far. It's incredible, but at that time, it doesn't sound that long ago, but 20 years ago, when you're talking about technology, and when you're talking
Mhm.
about computer and things like that, 20 years is it's a lifetime. Anyway, he was talking about making the hands look really real, that the person could use them and make it as natural as possible. And nowadays, that's just now it's applying to in Clearwater, Florida. I live in Florida. In Clearwater, there was the dolphin who they make the tail for,
Oh
and now
yeah,
you hear that more and more. Made that dolphin rest in peace, by the way.
yeah. You can 3D print anything. I mean, these days. But since we're on water, here's another fun one for you. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, to me, these
They look like
literally
they're
look like
swimming.
birds flying underwater to me.
They look like they're swimming. That's awesome.
So
It
to me,
is incredible.
they look like birds, and then of course, once I look into it a little bit more, I feel like a genius because yeah, they're ducks.
I
This
thought
is
they
what
were penguins. They're ducks. Oh yeah, you're
yeah
right.
yeah they're called. Let's see, what is it?
Camera? No, it's not a camera. It's a. Are you sure it's not a
Mergansers,
penguin?
Mergansers. And the
Okay.
cool thing is they are the fastest flying duck on the planet. Not underwater, like in the air. They
Morgersers?
Yeah, Morgansons, Merganser.
M. Of course. Uh huh.
Merganser.
Morganser. Merganser. Looks like a
Apparently they can
goose. Sounds
fly
like a
as
goose.
fast as the fastest like bird, 100 miles an hour in the
Oh
air.
my gosh, they're adorable. I wish I could show you guys, but it looks like a white duck with orange bill and a little bit of green. So just imagine a mallard. If you don't know what a mallard is,
Like Donald
sorry.
Duck, but more mallardy.
Common merganser. Very adorable. Very hunty,
Yeah.
hunty beak.
But when I first saw it, I'm like, are those birds literally? I mean, like the motion is almost the exact same as flying to me, which is I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like,
That's what I mean by evolution. I mean, if you think about that adaptation to the environment to be able to hunt, because I'm sure they're following and hunting fish. There is no reason for a bird to be on water if it's not for hunting. But the adaptation that it will take, the ability that it will take through generations, and of course in this case it will be adaptation to their environment. It's incredible. And going back to the issue of Darwin, I love how Darwin talked about that evolution, and it really was about how those finches, that's what he's best known for, the
uh-huh.
finches adapted to that area. And the Galapagos Islands, if you look at them, it's in the middle of nowhere in the Pacific. Seriously, in the middle of nowhere.
I know, and
And
I
it's
was like, I'm
it's
surprised
part of
what country
Ecuador.
they belong to.
Yeah, they
They're part-
belong to Ecuador, but they're in the Pacific and they're in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't look like Hawaii. It looks more like a literally like an eruption of a volcano.
okay, that's how most
And that's
islands
about
are
it.
too. Like that's typical island formation.
Amazing, amazing. That's beautiful. I may have to download a picture of that. because
So
I
once
like him
once
a
we
lot.
get once we get good at this, you'll actually will be able to like share your screen. So if you find something
That's what,
cool,
that's what I was thinking. Like, y'all guys, gonna have to figure out my description that I'm giving you. And
yeah.
that's the reason why I gave you the description so that you could form it in your mind and then just make the beak not as duckly like, but more like a seagull. There you go. It's a seagull hybrid with a duck
So a
body.
Mallardy Seagull hybrid that looks nothing like Donald Duck.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
exactly. Same.
So here's some fun. Sometimes when your day's not going so well, your day just can kind of sometimes feel like this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a turtle climbing a fence, everybody.
It's a
Turtle
soft shell. That's
climbing
adorable.
climbing a fence. But he's got a dilemma coming up here pretty soon.
Uh, yeah. I'm actually worried. It's adorable. Many times they do that because they really need to reproduce, and those fences were not there when they started laying eggs and things like that. So they are really cutting.
Oh, man down.
Yeah, that's a soft shell. That's a soft shell turtle. Turtle. I can't pronounce that to save my life.
It's okay. That's okay.
Thank goodness my life doesn't depend on the tortoise.
Here we go. I'm guessing this is not the same guy because
No,
looks a
no,
little
the fence
darker.
looks very different.
Looks a little darker. Same dilemma though.
Have you seen, and I'm not expecting a video coming up, but have you seen the crocodiles climbing a fence?
Yeah,
If you
that's the whole
think
fun of this
Florida,
video. So I don't know if this
oh,
video is going to end up being named, but this is kind of strange animal abilities was the concept when I started seeing stuff. The video, unfortunately, is getting a little pausey choppy, which I think is going
it's
to take.
okay. We get the point and we know what's gonna happen. So almost like the torture of
No, we don't know
the
what's going
goose
to
you went
happen.
home.
I'm not going to show you two turtles just failing to get it to the other side of the fence in a row. That would just be the worst defeatist day
Other-
ever.
Look at it. Yeah, it's almost like they have done it before because that little
Oh!
he made it.
At least he
Yeah,
accomplished his goal, and he's a
he
turtle.
did.
He's all right.
He
He
sure
moved his
did.
head
I mean,
around.
those
It
guys
was a
are so
little
strong.
shaky. I wanted to like continue it so everybody knew the turtle was okay, but the film was so shaky that I just couldn't stabilize it enough so people could see his little head moving. But turtle ended up okay, fine. One of the fun
Those
things I
guys
found
are
out about
fun.
these guys, the snapping turtles, they're actually carrion animals like vultures and stuff. They eat dead animals, and they actually are used by police to find dead bodies in lakes and stuff because they
Are
like
you
swim.
serious,
Yeah,
Ernest?
yeah, they swim to the dead bodies because they're looking for food, and then the police are able to actually find and recover bodies thanks to snapping turtles and their need to eat.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard of that. I mean, I know they use seals, literally Navy SEALs. They use seals.
Get your head out of the gutter, Maria.
No, I was talking about Navy SEALs in the
I
sense of
know.
seals being used in the Navy. So Navy SEALs, they actually use seals for to discover things that need to be discovered in the ocean, whether it be drugs or bombs or just anything that is out of the extraordinary. And they also use dolphins, which is just incredible how we
Yeah, the
can use
military.
animals.
Yeah, the military
Mhm.
trains them for defense and stuff. You'll hear about some of the naval ports and things like that. Guys, we some of
Yes.
this stuff we look up because we enjoy it. Other of this stuff we like I said, we had YouTube channels. We still have YouTube channels, but we're not going to plug any of that stuff here. But a lot of the channels were animal based, so we've absorbed a lot of animal information over the
It's
last
been
5 years.
4 years of
Yeah,
animal videos, so something sticks, and it's not to the ceiling; it's to our brain. Although we have thrown pasta in our hack channels, and that was a lot of fun.
especially for Maria. If it's an adorable animal clip or fact, usually she kind of sticks in her brain a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a catalog of awesome critter
Okay,
abilities and
you
adaptations.
want to know what the Aussies always have like the best nicknames. Like, even when speaking English, half the time I cannot understand what Aussie slang means. It's such a
Okay.
specific culture, like thongs. Thongs are flip flops.
Yes.
Shrimp on the Barbie is close to barbecue, but we used to do a lot of like couch surfing and stuff when I was in Vegas. We'd host a lot of people, and the Australians, I swear, they'd start talking to each other, and I never understand half what they're saying. I'm like, I like there was this bartender in Scotland was the same way. He would turn his back. We're in Thailand. He'd turn his back, and I couldn't understand anything the guy was saying. I had a better shot understanding him in Thai than I had understanding
That's
him
pretty sad.
speaking Scottish English. But
That's pretty funny. Well, it's the same thing in Latin America. There's certain slangs and certain things that I'm from Colombia, and we're supposed to have a very neutral accent. That does not mean that the entire country has a neutral accent. It's just more generally we may have anyway. The point is there's certain cultures even around different cities. I still don't get it. So we don't even have to go that far.
yeah, I mean, we've got accents in the States and stuff too. But I mean, yeah, I've tried to listen to people in Spanish from like Chile or Argentina, and yeah, there's certain places I'm just like, okay, is that like Portuguese maybe? Or, but again, back to the Aussies and their slangs and their nicknames. So the snapping turtle of Australia, fun nickname, the bum breathing turtle, because apparently dude can actually get oxygen through his butt. So it's not
Yes,
even
are you
slang so
talking
much
about
as
the Mary
scientific.
River? Are you talking about the Mary River?
Up to the white-throated snapping turtle of Australia. Those were
Okay.
snapping
Because
turtles. Those were the long neck turtles also.
yes, yes, yes. Because in one of the videos, sorry, many clips, but in one of the videos we talked about the Mary River turtle in
Okay,
Australia,
but that's the
and
one with the algae and stuff on him, right?
yeah, they call it
Yeah.
the punk turtle because it stays underwater for so long and
Okay.
things like that.
Okay.
It's fascinating. The punk turtle. You're right.
All right. Let's see. Oh, this one was fun. I found this one last minute when I was putting stuff together. I actually really enjoyed this one. Let's see. If you guys hate it, sorry for the lead up. I apologize. But this is our
Well,
first show, so no one's listening. This show's for me. Let's see. Again, animal abilities we did not know that these particular animals had.
Who knew bears could climb?
kidding me?
Not kidding.
Please don't fall on a bear.
Take out the wind.
Wow.
This is like a cliff face. This isn't
No,
like a.
I can tell, dude. They're like climbing better than goats.
It's like mama bear going, baby's gonna make it or baby's not gonna make it. Hopefully he doesn't pull a
Oh,
turtle on his way across.
oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
I am in pain. Oh, please. How are you gonna handle this, man? How do they do it? I mean, they don't even have like opposable thumbs, or I was gonna say disposable. Possible thumbs.
They like to get
I,
into
I,
the
I like I wanna
disposable.
grab him. Huh?
They like to get into the disposables and get your leftover food at your campsite, but
Oh my gosh, aren't they incredible?
it was interesting. I was reading something like a week ago, and it was an interesting point I hadn't heard made. Somebody was in a tent and they were brushing against the tent, and there was a bear around, and the bear doesn't know what's inside the tent. So it sees movement inside the tent and it
Oh gosh.
swats at the tent. And it got the person. Yay,
Hey,
we
hold on,
made
he
it
made
back!
it. Oh, we shall celebrate the moment.
And it
Sorry, I
got
was
the.
holding my breath.
That's
Anyway,
okay.
so a
That's what I
torrent,
was
a
trying to
bear.
relax you. I could tell how tense you were getting watching the clips, especially after you showing you two turtles that fell on their face.
Gosh, yes, you're trying to
I'm not that
torture
cruel.
me.
But basically, so the bear took a swipe and then got.
I don't know what I did.
But because of that, it's considered a bear attack, even though the bear was just swatting at a tent in
Are you
response to something.
serious?
So the article that I was reading was kind of a notification to people. When you camp, don't be near the edges of your tent. A, you don't want to get swatted by a bear, but B, the bear is just doing what it does naturally. And because of that, since that's considered a bear attack, if the officials find it, unfortunately, they have to take care of it because that's considered a bear.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, any bear attack, no matter how small, which was super sad. And it's like, but that's one of those things that I didn't know either. So it's like now when I camp, I will keep that more consciously in my mind to not set anything up near the edges of the tent. Hey, I don't want to get swatted by a bear. That's kind of one of my like secret
I don't
fears
think
while
anybody
camping.
does. Yeah.
I'm like, it's me, a piece of plastic, and wildlife, which I love wildlife, but when it's me and a piece of plastic between them and I can't see what's around me, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and that's pretty scary um, when animals do that because, as you said, it's their instinct. They're not trying to be mean, and it's the same thing with sharks if you think about it. They're we're splashing, we're making sounds, and they think it's a seal or an injured animal. They're not
Mm,
gonna eat us. According to research, again, according to research, we don't taste that good. So don't think they're coming there to get us because they're really not coming to get us.
yeah.
But many of the attacks do occur because we move and flap our hands or we have very bright colored outfits.
I thought bright
Um,
color was what you were supposed to do, so you didn't look like a seal.
the
Isn't that
what?
the? I thought bright colors is what you were supposed to wear, so you didn't look like a seal. When I was a kid and I go
It's
boogie
because
boarding
it
all the
attracts
time.
them. It attracts them. They're curious
Okay,
about it. And
I'd be
don't
curious.
pee, they said also.
Okay, interesting. See, this is where I would love to. I'm looking forward to hopefully in a month or two when we've got some people in the chat and we're doing some live chats and stuff to get some feedback and some ideas from people. Guys, we are not all knowledgeable. We're throwing ideas out for fun. Don't take any of this stuff as like gospel. It's going to be real fun when we have people to correct us, talk with us, share their stories. We're really going to, I mean, we're really enjoying this already, as you guys can tell, but it'll be a slightly different show when you guys are all here and we can all enjoy it together. Um,
Yeah, because the fun thing is to converse. And again, I may have been reading an article and their angle was different, but it's very fun when somebody who knows or has had an experience or something that they will share that with us. It's always fun when you talk to people who travel a lot because their knowledge of the world is so different than what you read on textbooks.
mhm.
And it's like, oh, I read this about that, and it's very fun when they show you, well, not necessarily it's always like this. Like, I'm from Colombia, I'm from Medellin, and pretty much anybody I talk to, as soon as I say I'm from Medellin, they straight go to the dark side in the 80s and the 90s. Well, this is about 30 years later. The country is much different, much more technically advanced. At least my city is very, very forward thinking. So it's very fun when people kind of know a little bit more about it and they're excited to go see it, not just like, oh, I saw an special about somebody who passed away 40 years ago. That was 40 years ago. Many of the people we talked to may not have even been born then, but yet they still have that idea. And it's the same thing with animals. Like, some scientists may have come up with a conclusion that not necessarily is the case, as is in the case of the bear being considered an attack when in reality it's just a natural reaction.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately with laws and stuff like that, they have to write something down on the books. You can't kind of write in every little nuance. Um, what I always tell
Yeah.
people when they talk about Medellin like that is, I'm like, would you have wanted to be in New York Times Square in the 80s? Because that was a dirty, rancid place back then, too. So the world changes a ton, everybody. And if you want to go see some hippos, you can actually go to Colombia, thanks to somebody bringing them
wild,
over.
wild hippos.
But that's another story for another day. Wild
Yeah, if you
animal
want to
hippos.
see what the effect of a apex species can do with the ecosystem and how it has actually affected the ecosystem. Nobody thinks like, oh yeah, they're herbivores and they don't do much. Well, they're pretty territorial animals, and a lot of the cases of attacks are higher on hippos than they're actually on lions, which people don't realize.
How about
Yes, lions
tigers
are
or
carnivorous.
bears
Huh?
or oh my? How about tigers or bears? Oh, oh my. All right, guys.
There you
Everybody,
go.
thank you for joining us. Thank you for checking this show out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is it's a pretty good sampling of hopefully what we're going to be doing moving forward. really looking forward to having you guys join us in some live chats and stuff when those get going. And we will see you later. Thank you.
Have fun, you guys. Thank you. Until next time. You stop.